Guess what we have for the first time ever? Hey,
Yeah.
Manchester
Manchester final.
Oh man, I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go. It's right in the middle of like the craziest season, and for me, but I think you gotta go. We can break. We can between your team and my team, we can stop City winning the treble. So maybe they won't win anything. Who knows at this point? Maybe they win everything. But crazy. It was a good game. I thought. It was very competitive for a scoreless draw. I thought it was a pretty competitive game. Moises Caicedo is a star. Victor Lindelof played well. David De Gea looked and saw which way everyone was going to kick it and still couldn't save anything. But yeah, it's good.
No Maguire, no goals.
That's right. How about that?
Even though I thought I didn't watch the whole game, but I was switching the channels. But I thought Brighton was dominating.
Oh, yeah, Brighton. Well, their midfield is ridiculous. Caicedo and McAllister. The problem with Brighton now, Brighton will, I want Brighton to keep going and winning games now, except when they play Manchester United again. But the problem is, can they keep these guys? Can they keep them? Ferguson will stay. He's been banged. I can't imagine. He's so young. But Caicedo now, he's Manchester United and Newcastle and Real Madrid and McAllister. He's already said he wants to go. So, now their scouting department has to go find other players. But people were talking about, the final would have been better if it was City and Brighton. Probably would have been more like knocking the ball. But, I think you got to win.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's interesting.
Just the second time here.
Teddy Mack.
I'm here.
Is this your guy?
Teddy Mack.
Dobromir Bayev. Teddy Mack. All right. I don't know what Teddy Mack. I don't know what that means, but gonna keep going with that.
Yeah, lucky. 14 penalties.
The crazy thing is, so Tottenham just fired their coach.
Yeah, I saw.
Again. So they're on their fourth.
Their interim coach.
They fired their interim coach, and now they're on their interim. How about this?
Why they just don't take Pochettino back?
I think Pochettino is going to go to Chelsea.
How
about this?
Yeah, that's great.
Dortmund leading. What about Newcastle? Yeah, look, we're the crazy. I mean, they just got their they got Tottenham fired. Newcastle, I thought, was pretty much a lock on the weekend there. They just, I didn't know they were going to win 5. It's going to be 5-0 after 21 minutes. But I mean, it was just sometimes you get those games and it's just like you're just shell shocked. The third goal goes in and you're like, what the hell's going on? And it's just like you can't even recover, and you see the other team is just relentless. And then that fourth and fifth goal goes in. It was the biggest lead ever in the history of the Premier League at halftime. Fulham got a big result. Crystal Palace blew it. Leicester got a huge result. Late goal. Liverpool just about won. So,
Everton going down.
And Arsenal blew it.
Arsenal blew it.
Here's the table. Arsenal, 32 matches, 75 points. Manchester City, 30 matches, 70 points. They play Wednesday. Anything but an Arsenal win probably sends the title to City. I don't think City loses another game the rest of the year.
You never know.
Newcastle, 59 points in third with one more game played than Manchester United. Tottenham, 32 points, 6 points back. Villa's only 2 points back of Tottenham. Liverpool's only 3 points back of Tottenham with a better goal difference, and they played one less game. Brighton.
And the top four look to me is kind of already decided.
Yeah, I
After
think
this weekend, the top four is.
I think Brighton's got 29 matches and 49 points, but I just think especially if Manchester United could ever get a result on Thursday, it would be crazy. I just think these teams here, these 4 teams, Tottenham, Villa, Liverpool, Brighton, going to battle for Europe. I think Tottenham is going to go in the tank. I think it ends up being maybe Villa, Liverpool, and Brighton, and Tottenham finishes 8th, and then they're a mess. So
I would say Liverpool is going to finish 5th.
Liverpool 5th. I would say Liverpool 5th. Probably Brighton. Brighton has a really tough schedule. Maybe Villa could finish 6th. Brighton 7th. Tottenham 8th. Tottenham finishes 8th. Levy's going to go. That team is a disaster. Kane will go. They'll blow up the team. And you won't see them probably for a few years. Tough break, Tottenham fans. If there's any here watching. What was your take? There's not a lot of games today. I think we just have Atalanta and Roma, Luton Town Mills. Or Luton Town Mills was a massive game, to be honest. But in the championship for 3rd and 4th. What was your main takeaway?
For which game?
Just the whole weekend. Any of your games?
Arsenal and Bayern.
Bayern Munich. They're a mess.
Yeah, they sacked Nagelsmann for good and put Tuchel for the. It's a joke.
Yeah, and they've been terrible since Tuchel's come in.
Yeah.
And
I've never liked how Bayern is run. Without those legends put as president and this and that, and they decide the transfers and
the thing with Bayern is going to be not so. Dortmund plays Bochum on Friday and has a chance to go 4 clear, and there's only. I think there's only 5 matches to go. There's 5 matches to go. They'd be 4 clear. Obviously Munich could win on the weekend to kind of to pull. Munich has Hertha Berlin, but if they win, if Dortmund actually breaks this 10-year streak, Bayern's going to go crazy and just spend like crazy and try to get back. But that's not always. You see what Chelsea does. I don't know if that's always the way to do it. So, who do you think wins that title? Dortmund or Bayern?
Well, I would like it to be Dortmund, but they're inexperienced and they've never been in a title fight. Besides, probably Emre Can and Marco Reus. The rest are
after this weekend.
And Hummels.
3 of their last 4 are at home. So you got Wolfsburg at home, Mönchengladbach at home, Augsburg on the road, and then Mainz at home. But they do play 3 of 4 after this weekend. So if they could ever get a win, it would be pretty crazy. But
I don't think it's that much to the opponent. I think they're fully capable of shooting themselves in the foot.
Oh, of course. There'll be 20 different turns and twists and everything by the time, Bayern Munich has to play Leipzig and they have to play, who's their last game? Cologne. Leipzig's still in a battle for Champions League, so obviously that game is going to be pretty good. Cologne is, not getting relegated, not getting things. So, it's crazy stuff.
These German games, for example, Bayern with Leipzig, let's say, Over and under. For over will be ridiculously low, the odds, and it will finish 2-0, like 70% of the time. Bayern plays Dortmund. Everybody expects each team to score 5 goals probably, and they finish like 1-0, 2-0. It's ridiculous. That's my observations in of the Bundesliga lately. When the big teams plays against one another.
What Wednesday huge Manchester City Arsenal? Any do you think Arsenal has any chance in that game?
Yeah, if there's someone who knows Guardiola perfectly, that's Arteta. So I hope Arsenal wins, but we'll see. They they, they can lose by a lot as well.
I think it could be 6-0. I think it could be 2-1 Arsenal. I just
You know what? Somehow in my memory, it's that all the big English games finish 1-1. Of course, there are some big drubbings, but when I hear an English derby, it's 1-1.
If you saw the table there at the now, Leicester's on 28, big win for them. Leeds on 29. Let me pull this up for you. I want to know who goes down. Who goes down in this group?
Everton.
Southampton, right?
I thought we said it last week. We spoke about it. It was Everton. Yeah, it was exactly those three, I think.
Yes. Okay. I think it's those three. Nottingham Forest is so banged up. They have so many injuries. Plus, they stink. You know, they have the worst goal difference, minus 33. You know, Bournemouth is going to do – I think they're going to do enough. They're at 33. I think anybody above this line here – like Bournemouth's got some winnable games. None of these teams here – I don't think any of these teams are going to get to like 37 points. Leeds, Leicester, Everton, Nottingham Forest, Southampton. So, you know, if Bournemouth can win like 1 or 2 more games, they'll be out of their 6. And we've talked about their schedule. It's not very tough. I think they could do it. West Ham is safe now. You know, they'll win 1 or 2 more games, and they'll finish on 40 points, and they might win the Conference League, which would be big for them. Palace is already safe. Chelsea, they're probably safe right now. I think Wolves is safe. They're too good. The coach is too good. They got too many good players. When you start to see these teams here with -9 goal difference, -8, even Wolves -17, it starts to, Leicester -13. I think that starts to like even out a little bit. So, I even think Leicester might have a chance to win some games here coming up. They play, I was looking at that because I was trying to, I'm in my knockout. We do the knockout thing every week. And, I'm trying to figure out which teams to pick, because it's getting a little, I've already used, the better teams. So, Leicester's got Everton next week on Monday. They play
that's
Everton,
sure.
Fulham.
That's a 6-point game.
Yeah. So their next 3 are Leeds, Everton, and Fulham, right? Then they have to play Liverpool, Newcastle, West Ham, which all tough. I think at that point, West Ham could be. I think
if they pick 6 points from the following 3, from the next 3, they're safe.
Yes. What day the Europa Conference final is. Because that's going to be June 7th. Wow, it's late. Okay, so June 7th, it'll be after. So West Ham will be, I think, they might be sitting players for that, but they should be safe by then. But yeah, Leicester, I think, gets 6 points somewhere here and finishes all right. I think
the following two games they beat Everton and Leeds, and it's okay.
Leeds is still in a little trouble. They got Leicester, Bournemouth, tough game, 6-pointers. Then you got Man City, Newcastle, West Ham, and Spurs, all teams that are going to need those games. Spurs could be done by then, but to be honest, they might need it to get into Europe, though. So Leeds right now, the same thing. These next two games, if you don't get 6 points from these next two games, Leeds could go down. So I think it's...
Yeah, it will be tight, but
You think it's the bottom three right now, right?
yeah, I'm sticking with
Everton has
Everton,
Newcastle.
Nottingham, and Southampton.
Everton has Newcastle, Leicester away, Brighton away, Manchester City, Wolves away, and Bournemouth. So they might not win a game. It might be. I think Everton goes. I think Southampton's already done. I just want to see Nottingham Forest real quick here. Brighton, Brentford, Southampton, Chelsea, Arsenal, Palace. I think Leeds. I think it's going to be Leeds, Everton, and Southampton. I think Nottingham Forest stays up by like a point.
Yeah, I can't say that much, but
So what do you got?
Last season, Everton was very close to relegation, but somehow they escaped it. This season, I don't see it.
That's right. Any games you're looking at today? NBA, Serie A.
Oh, Lakers in the NBA. Lakers, of course.
Yeah, Lakers 4.5-point favorites. Milwaukee.
Last night was a great game. Golden State with Sacramento.
Oh yeah. That and it's crazy that now they're right back in it. That the Timberwolves got their one win, so they'll lose in 5. The Hawks had a chance, they'll lose in 5. The Knicks now they're up 3-1 going back to Cleveland. They'll win in 5 or 6. I would say 6.
6, yeah.
I would say probably Cavs win and then they win at home. Warriors Kings. That was huge yesterday to hold on there.
It was a thriller.
What's that?
It was a thriller.
It came down to the final possession, and if Warriors lose that, I think
Steph Curry almost blew it.
I know, it's crazy. The crazy thing is, if the Warriors lose that, I think the series is over. They probably lose in 5 because Kings will just go home and win. Now, I actually think the Warriors are going to win the series. I think now, I don't know where. I don't know if they can get a win in Game 5 and then win at home, or they got to go to 7. But I think they win 2 of the next 3.
Well, I was always of the belief that the Warriors are going to win the series. So,
all right. So, you got any good plays today?
Not really. Atalanta Roma, it will be ridiculously low for over 2.5 goals, I believe.
I'll tell you that right now.
I avoid such games.
Under 2.5 is minus 157. Not terrible.
Under
2.5 minus 157. Over is plus 125. Not terrible. The other game today is the championship. Luton Town's hosting Middlesbrough. They're both in the playoffs. Luton Town is 3rd, Middlesbrough's 4th, so it would just be like seeding 3rd and 4th. They both locked it up, but and it doesn't really matter because they're both going to get home home field in the second leg. They'll be playing at home in the playoffs. But I think it's an interesting game going ahead. If these two teams are the two teams that are in the playoff final, this could be a big game to kind of set the tone for that. But that's. Do you guys? Is there like a lot of even like in America, it's almost like hyped. I know in England, it's like super. That game is like super hyped because it's like it's the richest game in world sports, basically. Because the winner of that game goes to the Premier League and gets basically 300 million pounds because you get 150 million for being in the league and then 150 in the following year, even if you get kind of. It's not as much now, but it's probably it's probably a 250 million pound game. Is there a lot of like hype around that game?
Yeah, I think it's only in England.
It's weird to me because sometimes like I work for that English company and they're like, man, you got to hype this up for us, and I'm like. I'm going to be honest with you. Like I'm a writer and like, I don't care. Like I watch I don't care. Like like some average person that's going to read this doesn't care, man. We're in the middle of they're like, man, you got to hype up this like horse race when they run backwards and it's on grass and stuff and they jump over things. And I'm like, listen, be honest. Like we're in the middle of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the NBA playoffs, baseball just started. You got XFL, USFL just started, the Champions League, and all this other stuff. I said nobody, and we're a week away from the Kentucky Derby. Nobody cares, man. Nobody cares. But
is that Kentucky Derby popular? Yeah.
The Derby is, yeah. It's pretty big. There'll be a ton of stuff. I actually have to write a bunch of stuff probably next week about it because it'll be on Saturday. The one horse is going to be the one horse is a monster. But
wait, the Kentucky Derby or Indy 500?
Which one do I like better?
No, which is the biggest event?
I would say probably Kentucky Derby. I mean, in the past, it was always the Derby. Horse racing is a little bit weird now because like it's not as big as it was. But like the Indy 500s, it's just run on I think it's Memorial Day weekend, and it's Memorial Day weekend Sunday at 12:45, and just like I don't know, I think Formula One is bigger here now than IndyCar because of that.
Yeah, I think it's taking over.
Yeah, well, we have 3 races this year. That the Las Vegas race going to be crazy, but
last year the Texas one, not the last year it was in LA. Yeah.
We have Miami, Texas,
and now in Vegas.
Yeah. The Texas one's like. Like I feel like we were supposed to have one in New Jersey. They were going to build a course right across from Manhattan, but they didn't. They chose that Circuit of the Americas in Texas.
Yes, Circuit of the Americas is the only true circuit. All the others are like
races
in town.
Yeah, but it's just Memorial Day weekend here is like a huge weekend. It's like it's the first weekend people go to the beach.
No, I was not asking especially for this year, but in general.
No, yeah, I think just in the last like decade, I think the Indy 500 like nobody cares about. Like it's just weird. That IndyCar racing, like NASCAR is big, and Formula One is getting big. NASCAR is still pretty big. It still gets pretty good numbers. And the Formula One is getting big. But like Indy's like kind of in the middle, and it's just like,
if you don't have anything better to do.
it's just like NASCAR. You drive in circles, except that's why Formula One. I mean, it's a course and all this stuff. I just think people like watch that better. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because I've heard Americans saying, "Oh, what you like about soccer? So many people chasing a ball for 90 minutes and they finish new. It's the same like NASCAR and IndyCar." and racing. One over thing.
NASCAR, like that's Formula One, and the Formula One is quick. It's like an hour and a half. I mean, if you see the sport, this is just my opinion. If you see the sports and you see what like baseball and the NFL are doing, the sports that are doing well now are like, football, Premier League, Champions League, whatever, all those things. Formula One, lacrosse is so big. But like, why are they so popular, and why is baseball falling and stuff? Well, and what did baseball just do? They tried to shorten the baseball games are 3.5 hours long. Nobody's got time for that anymore. Yeah. Nobody wants to watch that stuff. Like, it's just everybody's like, oh, this, it's like have to be, the keep the attention span. So like, I think that's why soccer has been so popular. Football, NFL is always popular, but even NFL, they trying to shorten the games now. They've made the games a little bit shorter. You can kind of tell that they're shorter. So to try to keep that attention. So
that's interesting, because in football, in soccer, they're trying to extend it, to extend the games.
Extra added time. Yeah. Well, look at cricket, for example. Look what cricket's doing. Test cricket is whatever, but like, what's the cricket that's getting popular now? The IPL, the Premier, the T20 stuff. Because once again, nobody's got time to sit there for 3 days or 5 days and watch this stuff. Like, it's from a time long gone, and the world, I think, is not really like that now. Like, the thing that people say about baseball that's good is, oh, I can just go to the game and drink a beer and think. I played, I coached, I get bored. It's just like I don't. It's just I need it to be. Football is constantly moving. Like there's always stuff going on. But people think that's boring. But that's
yeah.
Some people. But it's not the. I mean, the ratings are. Get crazy ratings. The Premier League gets crazy ratings now. The Champions League, it just gets huge ratings compared to these other sports. So,
beginning to understand finally.
Which one?
Oh, the European football.
Yeah, I think it's also there's so many people from other countries here. There's so many people from Central America coming up.
Yeah,
Europe.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, New Jersey. I mean, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I mean, there's so many Portuguese, Brazilian, Polish, whatever. People from all Russia, Ukraine, everywhere. There's people, people from Argentina, Brazil. So they brought it in, 30 years ago when they came over. And 50 years ago, and now their kids are all playing. It's just like the kids now. When you go to a baseball game, like when I covered the minor league game, you see more Manchester United jerseys than you do like Yankees. I mean, it's crazy. So it's pretty crazy. So all right, so we're gonna get out. We're gonna be on at 1:30 this week, except for Thursday, and then probably next week we'll go back to our regular time. It's a little bit of a crazy week for me with work, but we'll be out here tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's a bunch of Premier League games, so we'll be on to kind of go through them, and we're gonna take sides. We're gonna have a debate, and we're gonna see who wins, Paul or me. So,
Paul.
We will see who it will win. All right.
Will win.
All right. Thanks for watching. See you guys.
See you tomorrow.